Hello everybody, this is going to be a tutorial on how to get some really nice coloring in Flash. In the previous videos we went over outlining the character, and after you outline the character the next step is coloring. And I thought it would probably be a little bit more interesting if I show you how to color something and then let you have the liberty of coloring the Sally Rex character however you wish. So I came up with this quick sketch to demonstrate how to color, and what you learn in this video you should apply it to your own character. Now, I already took the liberty of outlining this character in Flash, and since I'm not making it move, I did it all on one layer. So if that confuses you, let me know. But so I already have the lines done, and personally, it is not as crisp or as lively as the hand drawing, but we're gonna make it work. So, and I've already decided some colors, and I wanted this guy to be kind of fruity, so I chose these colors based off of pink. And the first thing I need to do is color block, and essentially that is when you pick a solid color to represent the shape, and then after we have this whole thing color blocked, we'll go in and put highlights and gradients and give it some more appeal. But first I need to color block. So some things to go over in this coloring procedure before I really get into color blocking are the two basic tools I'm going to be using right away: the eyedropper tool and the paint bucket tool. Again, pay attention to the right of the highlighted or the pop-up title, where it will give you a letter next to the name of the tool in parentheses, and that is your hotkey. So I'm going to be using these hotkeys. The eyedropper tool is the letter I on your keyboard, and the paint bucket tool is the letter K. So I'm going to be switching in between those using hotkeys. Also, an important thing to know is that if you intend to color this way, you need to make sure that your lines are connected, meaning that there are no gaps. If there are a gap in the shape, then the fill will not work. And I have the pencil tool selected, and I'm going to try and give you an example of that. So if I have this shape that I crudely drew right here, and I use the eyedropper tool to select the color, you can see the icon immediately switched to the paint bucket. And if I click in here, it doesn't fill because those lines aren't closed. So if I go ahead and close these lines, there you go, you can fill it. And some really cool thing about Flash is that after you fill this bucket, you can get rid of the line in a number of ways. One, you can double click it and then hit delete, and now you have this shape, and the shape actually maintains the same sort of properties as a line does. So the outside of the shape is you can actually just control it that way, or hold down Alt and give it a point and really manipulate it. Actually, it's kind of fun to create just using shapes. Another thing is you can come over here to your eraser tool, and if we go down here to the eraser mode and I click that, there are 5 different modes that this eraser can do. So normal means that it erases everything. It erases color, line, shapes, it erases everything. This one, erase fills. So now that I have my eraser out here, it only erases the the fill. So I can erase over here and the line's still there, but it only erases what's inside, the fill color. So I'm going to step back. But if I go over here and say erase lines, it does just that. It only erases lines. So that's how we're going to do a lot of it. I'm going to color block it and get some really fine-tuned coloring, and then I'll probably come in here and just erase all the lines, the whole thing, and it'll be cool. So I'm going to delete all this right here and get started. I already have the pink selected, so I'm going to use the hotkey K and start color blocking. And I wanted this guy to be kind of fruity, so I chose these colors. Let's see. And I was thinking that use green for I think I'll make the gloves a different color. And so switching between I for the eyedropper and K for the fill. And I was thinking that this would make a cool color for the gloves, kind of pukey color. And I want the eyes kind of yellow too, like some yellow goggles. So I'm going to come over here into the color swatch thing and pick a more saturated color and for the eyes. Yeah, a little bit brighter than the gloves. And let's see, make it maybe even brighter. So I'm going to come in here and put highlights and gradients. But before I do that, I just want to get a color going. For these feathers here, I was thinking a lighter version of the yellow. And I'll have to come in here and put some shadows. And like so. Sometimes you might have to zoom in to get a better more space to click it. And the color of his belt, I haven't really decided, so I can come over here and click this fill color in the colors panel, and I have all these swatches I can choose from. Or if I go all the way over to the right, see this little circle of colors, I get this blender here. I can actually make it larger. So I'm going to try to get something that represents canvas a little bit. And I think that's going to be over here kind of towards the yellowish green, sort of like the drab army color. And then I can change the brightness here. The center is desaturation to more saturation. So let's see if I can get something pretty close. That looks good to me. Maybe something a little bit lighter. I can also manipulate some of the colors here by switching these options. S stands for saturation and B for brightness. So I'm going to knock down the brightness a little bit, and I'm going to use these outlines. Whoa, see that? See that? This shape right here is not closed, not a closed shape, so I'm going to have to make some adjustment. And I'm going to close this with the line tool. It's already on snap, so I'm going to snap it to these corners. And let's try that again. Sweet. So I'm going to use these lines here for the darker colors. Let's try this dark green, see what that looks like. You know, that's not too bad. Again, I'm going to have to zoom in on this to get a better selection. I don't want to I'm not going to do all of the lines this color. You'll see. I'm going to vary it up just a little bit. I really like to color in Flash. It gives you some really cool opportunities to do so. It's a real simplistic approach to it as well. Sort of click and fill type coloring, but once you get the hang of it, I'm gonna tip the this part of feather with this yellow here. Zoom out a little bit and pick some more of this dark green for these lines here. Control Z. See, I accidentally click the pink part. Okay, so use this dark yellow for the outlines on this belt, and I'm going to zoom in just so I can get a better view of it, and just gives you a little bit more variance on the lines you have. Okay, I'm going to use the same dark yellow for the fist, or the hand. And maybe even this feather shape on his head. Cool. Actually, I'll switch them out here. Seem to be a little bit more natural dark color for these colors I have chosen up here. Now, I'm going to give him a skin tone. So I'm going to come back over here and lighten it up a little bit. It's a good start. I'm going to desaturate it a little bit. It's been kind of pasty. And let's get a darker version of it by going to brightness and for these outlines. And let's get it really saturated dark for the inside of his mouth. And oh yeah, we got that part of his chin. And now his teeth. Let's go back and pick a good tooth color. You kind of want to avoid using solid white. Off colors of white are a little bit better. So sort of on the blue side, but in contrast, it's pretty white. And then I'll get a really dark color of that for the gaps in between. Now, just keep in mind, I'm going to be erasing these lines completely. So you won't see these little lines. They'll just be separated by color. It's going to look pretty cool. I forgot these asterisks on the eye. Get a nice lighter version of it yellow. And let's zoom out and see if I missed anything. Okay. I'm going to pause right here and devote the next video to gradients. So don't forget to check out the next video on gradients.